Do 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 do. Wah, 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 wah. Boom, 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 boom. Do 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 do. Hey, welcome. New show. Theme song over. Welcome to You Can't Do That on Salesforce. I'm Tom. Whoa, that's an infinite loop of OBS. Let's fix that. Wow. Okay. What's going on today? We're going to work on some of the most interesting stuff ever, and that's addresses. Why? Because why not? Because I don't know, because I've run into this a few times in my day job, and I thought, this is probably something that's been done before and maybe done lots of times. I honestly didn't even look at the App Exchange, but I'm sure this isn't necessarily new. But I figured this would be interesting to mess around with. So today we're going to talk about and maybe design a little abstract polymorphic address management. So what it comes up a lot is accounts in Salesforce. They have a ship to, a billing and a mailing address. Contacts sometimes, they have two address slots. Sometimes opportunities need an address, quotes need an address, and I just figured everybody needs an address. And sometimes you need multiple addresses, and sometimes you need a different address from one thing to the next, and sometimes you need to explain what an address is from one from one account to the next or what have you. So maybe just having mailing and billing, those are standard fields, but maybe that just isn't enough. And so that would be fun. This will be a fun little data exercise. Maybe a little security, maybe a little automation, and we'll figure some stuff out. This part of my hair over here is like doing this really weird thing. I don't know. I need a haircut. That's the problem. Anyway, you guys can get my. I wish I had a good side, but I've got two sides, and neither of them are particularly good. So, focus on the screen, not the guy in the bottom corner. Okay, where are we? So that project, I just created a scratch org for this. I'm calling it addressable because why not? That was the first name that came to mind. And oops, I killed my terminal window, which is not something I wanted to do. So we're going to bring that back. There we go. Okay, what does addressable need? Well, let's see. We're going to need, let's make a README. We got a README. What are we going to need? I don't know, the requirements. Let's see. We're going to need, probably going to need some kind of address object, right? Custom object for that. We might need some, what are we going to need on that object? Probably going to need a Salesforce ID, which I think is a text field. Maybe. I do this a lot. I'll create a record ID field, which is kind of like a generic field. Like I do this with like kind of semi-polymorphic design. So you can pass it a record ID, and then optionally, if it makes sense, got to kind of think this through a little bit. You can then enhance the object to enhance the address object to tell it literally what object should it look up to, should it relate to. So in our example, I might have an account field, right, that does a lookup to an account. I might have a contact field that does a lookup to a contact, right? I might have an opportunity field. Right, this can go on and on. Now there's like a 40 lookup field limit, I think, on Salesforce. So This doesn't work forever, but it works pretty good. I would be curious, I would be surprised if an organization came in and said, and let's imagine this is actually an app that you could use because we're nowhere near that yet. But come in and say, hey, I'm going to use your addressable app, and I got 67 objects that need to relate to, that need an address on them. Like, wow, okay, I guess maybe that could happen. But I think if you got beyond 40 of these, I'd be really surprised. But with this model, you could say, all right, custom object X, add that as a lookup, and now you've got another lookup to an addressable address record. And so we'll probably take this route. I feel like this whole thing in and of itself could like become sort of an abstracted little component that you could it's like my pseudo polymorph, right? Now the sauce is when you drop in the record ID, it says, well, what type of ID is it? So use key prefix or something like that, or even in Apex we can find out it's this object type. Then the next step is figure out what lookup field is the lookup to that object type. And I've never done that in Flow, so maybe we'll explore that a little bit, like entity definition, entity particle kind of stuff. See if maybe we can make that a Flow-based thing and not a code-based thing. But we'll see. Either way, that's there's the address. We're gonna need the actual address, which I don't think we can make those. Can we? I'm gonna do a little side by side work here. So let's make our address object. And do we want a name? Yeah, why not? We can come up with something for that. It'll be more relevant than an auto number. Yes, we're gonna do reports. Let's do field tracking. We want to be able to search. I don't think we're going to need notes and attachment, but let's make a custom tab. And we'll try to update our requirements as we go. Quick note, I'm going to have to wrap at 4:30 today because I got a little project thing I got to finish up. So got to jump in there a little bit early. So we'll crank for a couple of hours, 2.5 hours, and go from there. Map feels like a good feel or a good icon for that. I'm going to do the standard don't share anything with anything. Instead, we'll create ourselves an app. Every time I do this, I say to myself, I'm going to make some scripts that pop all this off. You can just say, what's the name of your app? And then boom, 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 it makes some things. And then I don't do that because, I don't know, I get busy with other stuff. So that's okay. We'll do it manually for the 100th time. App manager, new Lightning app. Let's call it addressable addresses for everything in Salesforce. Cool, standard stuff. Nope, no utility. Let's add our addresses to our fields here. We're not going to give it to any profile because we're going to make a permission set that it's like Groundhog Day. How many times on the show have we done this? Many. This will be addressable admin. I like to take out the underscores. It's supposed to have that app installed, but it doesn't always do the thing. That's okay. Booster doesn't do the thing, it seems like sometimes. Options? Maybe I don't have options. Change, set field names. Automatically removes the underscore. Just doesn't seem to be doing that for me, but maybe because in the cases I'm using it, it just doesn't work that way. Okay, anyway, let's assign our app because we've got our addressable app. Boom. Let's assign our object, our address. Oh, we got two address. Wait a minute. Am I barking up the wrong tree here? Let's see. Well, that didn't work. We have our custom addresses object, but what's the other object? When you use multiple addresses, the address object stores the addresses for related contact and account records. Okay, so we can. I forgot about this. Whoops. Now let's look at what this does and maybe think about what we want. So this is also the ETA. Is that what we want though? Let's just look at this object here. Represents a mailing, billing, or home address. We need industry. See, we don't have these. And I think that's going to be our. We're not using industry, insurance, retail execution, industry visit, field service, order management. Though we could use order management, public sector employee experience, contact tracing. So yes, but we need some other things enabled. So I think we can still have some fun with this and not completely replicate everything. Let's see if there's anything else. Manage addresses unit. This is nonprofit starter pack. So we have that there. Custom address field in Salesforce. Address and location S objects or compound field. So there's some stuff out here. What is the address object? That's what we just looked at. It's address a standard object in Salesforce. Standard address field available. Custom address field. This is not what we're looking for. Wow, got a couple ads on the Salesforce bin here. Go away. I'm going to refresh you. So we can create a custom address field, and we would create that on our address object. So yeah, I think we can still play with this. So what limitations are there on the custom address field? Let's look at the Salesforce docs for full details. Pick lists. If a package contains a custom field, requires that custom address fields is enabled in the target org. Custom address fields and org limits for custom compound fields. Each component counts as one field, so you get 9 custom fields are consumed by each custom address field. Not a big deal for us because we're going to do kind of a many-to-many situation there. So limitations, before you enable, understand the limitations. These things aren't supported. Approval, import, flow screen input. Now I wonder though, can we access the parts of it in screens? I don't know. That was probably something we need to look into. LWCs don't support it. Let's see if there's anything else here. Those are custom fields, custom address fields. Function is unavailable or limited. You can't mark a custom field as required. You can't use the distance function with a custom address field. Okay. To export in field, use the API or SOQL queries. To populate custom address with imported data, use RESTer API. Is there any limitation? So this flow, let's see, what does this say behind here? Is this specifically a reference, or is this, nope. Okay. So we're going to do some experimentation there and see what we run into. The word address isn't appended to the label. The length of geocode accuracy of data type isn't consistent. This distance might be interesting. So how do we, let's see, how do we access, we can't use it as an input component. That's fine if we needed to, I don't even know if we're going to need a flow or a screen flow for anything here. And we probably will to, let you set some values on the address. We'll use flow out of the box. Maybe it becomes a lightning component at some point. Add geocode to a custom. All right, so here's some Apex that retrieves latitude and longitude from your preferred. So they are. Here's mailing address. There's an address data type, and then you can get the stuff from it. Can you set the stuff? I guess let's take a look at Apex Developer Guide address. And what does it say? Do we have an address object? Maybe we just need to look at the reference. Okay, address. Methods for accessing the component fields of address compound fields. So there's an address.city, address methods, a lot of getters. I don't see any setters, so I wonder if we can set these values in Apex. Hey, ChatGPT. I cannot spell. Let's go find out. Continue with Google. Oh, birthday now, huh? Okay. It's not really my birthday, but there you have it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this off screen for a second. Oh, it's already linked to the maximum number of accounts. All right, so they are putting some guardrails up. Well, I think I can just connect with my, I'll just use another screen over here. And let's ask ChatGPT if we can set, how do we set address fields in Apex? Let's see. How do I set address custom address field values in Apex? Question mark. I'll bring this over just so you can see the robots at work. Setters, really? Are we sure? New address. So that's a new address. Set custom address. Custom address. I don't know about that. There's no setters in here. Can I search for that? Set city? Nope. Apex address. Why am I yelling? Set. Stop it. Oh my goodness, you're killing me. Where? I can't. Where? There. Caps lock. Bleh. Apex address set city. Oh, set address via Apex? What do these guys have to say? Let's see, Apex custom address field set city. This is just a regurgitation of the okay, so __s. If you want to use custom address field in Apex, then you will need to use like below. I didn't know this. Okay, so custom address field __c __ state code __s. That's a lot. Okay, we can work with that. I haven't seen that referenced anywhere else. So it's not really a set city. If I do __s, what do I get back? Starts as latitude, longitude. That's for geo. All right, so they just kind of piggybacked on that. This says custom address field not writable. You cannot update address field directly. Instead, you need to update individual fields. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So we're not dead. Let's party. Which object is my object? I guess that's the question. I think this one's mine. Let's leave that permission set open. And we'll go back to our, let's just duplicate this. Go back to our object manager. A little redundant, but we're gonna make a, oh wait, we need to enable custom, let's see, enable custom addresses. Where do you do that? Enable custom address fields. User interface, use custom address fields, okay. User interface. It's in a weird spot, it's the bottom of the list. Enable, oops. Why are we not searching the page? Let's go. Custom address fields cannot be deleted or disabled. What does that say? Adds the address custom field to object manager. Okay. Groovy. Let's do it. Boom. Did it work? Did I push the, there it goes. Okay. All right, back to our object. We're gonna make a address field. And we're gonna call it address. Very clever. Address.address. And we're not gonna do any of that. Oh, we're gonna turn on, where is that? We gotta turn on that setting that makes the sets. Oh, no, just duplicate. There we go. We need to turn on the, I think that's also user interface, is it? User management settings, I think. Yes. Set field security. Please do. Okay, that'll make life a little easier. Go back over here and just add that field. Okay. So then, what else are we going to have? We're going to have different types of fields. Um, and so this will store an address. Let's make our, I'm going to do this little record ID pattern thing here. Text. We're going to, we could, yeah, let's just call it record ID. Well, let's call it SFID. Those are 18. And this is the SFID of the record that this address relates to. Okay. Oops. Okay, we'll use that in a little bit. And put that on the page layout. I'm going to add one lookup field. Let's add one lookup field to an account. So we'll test this. We'll also test this model of. I think I'm going to change the name of my object from addresses to addressable address, I guess. Yeah, because it's going to get confusing with that custom. Even though I can't access that custom, well, it's not custom. The standard address object, probably, I think because I don't have any of those other features enabled, it'll still get confusing. We're going to put this on none of these for right now. And you guys like my little music there? Can you hear that? This is the, what is this? Oh, I'm not doing it well. Bottle cap. I got lots of noises on my, but I'll save them for you. Don't want to wear them all out. Okay, we got an address, we got an account, we got a Salesforce ID. There's probably some kind of, so types of addresses. Would we want to track types of addresses by object? It's like, let's see, we got mailing and billing for accounts. That's out of the box. You could also have, like, I don't know, laboratory, other, those sorts of things. We could dictate, so we could have one list to rule them all, but that doesn't feel very configurable. So maybe we want the ability to pick address types and associate them with objects. Let's do that. New type or new object. We'll call this address types. I'm sorry, address type. Address types and address type name. We'll make that text too. Again, I think we can maybe make the text fields dynamic, so it's like account dash other, at least for the record name, and then we'll use some flow probably, or a quick action maybe to create those, so it can do the naming mojo in the background. Sure, history tracking. We do want, I guess we can search those. Make a wizard. Wizard. And form. Let's go with form. Next. We're not going to do anything here. We're going to put it in the addressable app. And we're going to go back to our permission sets and go to object types. Grant access to this. Okay, so I think we look at address type. We're gonna need what? Um, we're gonna need a text field that tracks the Salesforce object type. We'll call that this is the API name of the Salesforce object that this address type um, is enabled for. Okay, we may need some validation around that, I guess. You know, whenever an address gets saved, make sure that the type chosen matches. Well, you know, we could actually do that with maybe we can do that with a filtered lookup, because now we're going to go back over to. I'm going to actually save that. Now we're going to go back over to our address object, and we're going to add a address type lookup. Yeah. And we could do a filter here that says if the current record, if the address is I guess we could store that. We could store the Salesforce object type on the address record for this purpose. Yeah, let's do that. So we can't, oh, darn it. I did want that actually. So let's go back and do address type. Address type. Look, okay. It worked. Booster worked there. So cool. Do, do. Yep. And yes. Okay. Now that we have that, let's go back. Yeah, we're here on address. So I'm gonna add that same field. I'm gonna add a Salesforce object type field here. Wow, too many fives. So we'll populate that with flow. Yes, with flow before we save. I think then we can use it as part of a lookup. Let's see. Can we? I feel like we're gonna need a screen flow to do this part, but let's see. We do address. Oh, did I not? Did we not grant access to that? Also, did I mess up the naming of? I think I did. Yeah, let's see. This should be address type. This should be address types. There we go. Oops. Okay. Permission set. Yeah, Salesforce object type, and then Salesforce object type. Okay, so do we not see on the... Nope, that's address type. We want address. So on the address type, we want a filter, lookup filter. The address... why can't... I feel like I'm missing something here. I can't pick a text value? That seems weird. I can pick it here. Maybe it needs to... maybe it needs to index that stuff. Oh, there it is. No, there it is not. Can we go in the other direction? Address type equals address. Something not right here. Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. Okay. We are. Where are we? We have a sample account. We have our SFID, so we can technically start, you know, doing stuff here. Um, let's put some basic data in here, and then we'll start looking at. Actually, you know what? Let's just start looking at some other requirements. We need flow. Let's make a new. I think we want a screen flow to create an address type, right? Screen one. Let's see. Let's create select. Actually, you know what? Create a. We'll call this DT1. Let's create a new address type. I don't know why I'm getting all carried away with the formatting here. We'll just go 12 point. Select. Let's see. Select a Salesforce object type, and I think that's it. Select a Salesforce object type and a name and a label for the type of, and a label to describe the type of address. Say example, shipping, billing, other, etc. Okay. Now, can we do a pick list based on entity definition? I wonder. This will be Salesforce object type. This is required. This is text. The choice, we need a new choice. We're going to make I think we're going to make a record choice, and we're going to call this entity definitions. And hooray, we can pick those. And I cannot remember what those look like. Salesforce entity definition. I think this is what we want. Row-based access to metadata, standard, and custom objects. Why can't I just get to the API? Just want to see the fields. Okay, fields. Where are you? Field definition should support all of you. That's not what I want. Man, I just want to see the entity definition fields. Like, let's go. I feel like the Salesforce help did not get indexed or something. All right. right, so here we go. Entity definition. What do we, is there anything we need to, I hope I can query these without the, in standard Salesforce, in standard SQL. Oh, do we need, I think I just want to get the label. I was trying to think if there anything here that we wouldn't want, that we would filter out. And I think the answer is no. So for right now, we're just going to pick entity definition. Let's get them all. We'll sort them by, what's the field that stores the label? Oh, label. No maximum. The choice label is the label. What's the difference between label and master label? I guess that's, oh boy. Okay. It looks like the guys are coming through to clean our stuff up again here. Sorry for the distraction, but they are, there they go. Look at that. They are mowing the back hedge. There it goes. Wow, that thing is brutal. They're just myrtleizing. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah, there they go. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Guess that's going to be an annual occurrence. Anyway, where were we? Master label versus label. I'm not sure what the difference is. Let's just pick label. Okay, and then we also want to get the, I think it's the qualified API name. That's the value that we're actually going to track. So let's say, okay, entity definitions, done, save. This is going to be address type, create address type. A little bit of naming convention here to help out, so we can see it later. I think we're going to let this run. Probably need to access all data just to make sure we can access the fields we're dealing with. And if I debug this, what do I get? None. Okay. Why is that? Oh, he's coming back. He's definitely still killing stuff. And it looks like he's done. And away he goes. Oh, he's going to do it one more time. Wow. I would not want to be under that thing. All right, I can't get entity definition from Flow. Is that for real? Let's see, Salesforce, Flow, entity, and it can't type today. Definition. Salesforce Flow query entity definition. Can I do that? It sure seems like I can't. So nothing there. What a terrible name. We might have to hide the title on this. Well, shucks. I was hoping that was going to work, but it looks like it's not going to. And let's see, entity definitions. get all. I'm saying get all, and I'm getting none. So now if I run this, if I run this in my org, I think it's gonna work. But let's get a new. Whoops. All right. So select fully, or actually qualified API name from entity definition. And now if I execute, where are you, Sokol? Oh. Can we do that with what's in the... Yeah. Now, if I do this with REST, what do I get? Oh, lots of stuff. If I do this... Huh. But if I do this with... I don't know why that's not working. Oh, here is this... Maybe it's because I have it selected? Oh, maybe I have to select it. Sorry. If I do that with tooling... Oh, okay. So it doesn't... It's weird that it works with the REST API, but it does not work with Flow. I'm pretty sure we saved it, right? I don't think that would have anything to do with it. So let's debug it again. Nope. Okay, so all right, no, all is not lost. If we can't do that, then we can, this is good invocable work. We can have the. I wonder if I just do a get records. Let's back up. Let's try that a second. Same thing, just get records. Like let's get entity definitions. I don't necessarily want to do it this way because I think it'll be very inefficient. But we'll do this by label. Let's get all the records and store all the fields. Wait, let's just get them all. Done. And save it again. And let's just see if we debug. What do we get through that step? Records successfully found. Okay. Loop through them just for grins. There's probably a ton. This is why I don't want to do it this way. So let's loop. And let's just do an assignment just so we can see them show up in... not going to keep this. We'll just grab the, we'll assign the value of each of these definition. Let's give it a label. So let's see if it writes those out for us and we can get the values this way. Okay, let's debug. It's cranking. This would quickly hit a 2,000 record limit, I think. In fact, it might hit it now. Let's go take a look at our... there it goes. $1,200. 1,200 elements in that list. I wonder if that's why it won't work in a pick list. Maybe it's just like, nope, too many, not doing it. So that's why I was looking to see, can we filter by something, right? that says don't use this don't use this object, right? If it's like is it an object or is it like a internal object? There's got to be some field for that. Because I don't want Apex class. I don't care about that. I just care about default implementation. Sounds neat, but reserved for future use. Developer name, durable ID. Sharing model. Maybe that is a way to implemented by, implements interface. Internal sharing model, that could be an option. I'd be curious what. Well, let's find out. If we pull internal sharing model back into our query here. Let's order by. I'm going to grab the label too, just so we can see this a little more clearly. Oops, got to select it. If I find like Apex class in this list, what does it say? Apex job, not read write. That's not really going to help us. Apex class, read write. Shucks, that is not the field that we can key off of. Is activity trackable? Only be used on custom objects. Is compact layoutable? Let's try that. Whoops. True. Is compact layoutable? Let's just see. Maybe those non-DML object or things don't work with that. Is this doing something? Oh, whoops. Let's see. That might be it. That might be the jam. Apex class. Apex trigger false. Apex class false. I think that's the right answer. I don't know what those are about. Oh, those are things that we don't have access to. Okay, that's fine. Where's my scroll bar? Contact. I'm just gonna spot check a couple of these. Yes. Flow interview. I think most of this will work. Change events are not. I think that's the field. I think so. Let's go with it. Okay. So we'll use is compact layoutable true. Are there any other fields in there that are customizable? That could be one that works. Is ever creatable? Is field? No. Is ID enabled? That's not going to help. Maybe even just is layoutable. That could probably work too. Let's go with that. Okay, back over here. So we're going to find out if entity definitions, if we put a filter on this, is layoutable equals true, right? Will that get us less than a gajillion of these? Did it tell us we got 1100? Let's see what we get. Where is layoutable equals true? See what that gets us. $255. Still a lot. Well, wait. Um, I think we want them both to be true. I think we can reduce this even further by doing that. Was there anything in opportunity? Yeah. I think we'll... Maybe we even just want is compact layoutable. Try that. 255 still feels like a lot. $211. Let's try it. Is compact layoutable. Equals true. Done. Save. So hopefully this will get us fewer than a zillion. I don't even want to do... Well, let's... I'm going to put the same... Actually, I just did that. Right? No, I didn't. Let's put the same filter on this. That way we can kind of apples to apples. If it still doesn't show up in get entity definitions, then we're going to do something different. Probably do an invocable basically with the same logic. Oh, still nothing, huh? All right. We're going to invocable town on this one. Bummer. And I don't think I can... I can't think of another way to do this. Because I can't make a choice. Oh, wait, no, let's do a collection choice set. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. This is ENT def 2, and the collection is going to be this. Our label is going to be label. Our data type is going to be text, and that's going to be the qualified API name. Okay. Let's try that here, right? We're going to change this to the other choice and try it again. Debug. There we go. Okay. So that's probably something worth writing up on its own. We got address in there twice. But anyway, I would pick, account. And then I need another field for the label. Let's not do this silly thing. We can get rid of entity definitions too. And let's change this to... actually change that to entity definitions collection choice set. Let's be good with our names, however exhaustive they may be. Okay, so we will have that will fill, and then we need a text box that will say is the type label, address type label. Okay, that's required too. And let's hide this header because it's really gross. Create a new, let's just say create address type. Go 18 on the headings. And yeah, that's done. Save that. Now it would be clever if we could pre-fill that. I think we could pre-fill that. If it's coming in from a from a record ID. Is there any reason that it wouldn't? Because we could actually, we could even have a. Can you do an accordion in a layout? Because I would almost want to create like a. Well, maybe not. You probably would want to manage these in a different location. But so if can we override the new with a. Well, I guess we actually have to create the record too, right? So let's insert. Create record. Let's create address type. One record. Address type field name equals. Oh, so let's do. I think we want to collect. We're going to make that the label for a second. We're going to make the. Wait. Where are you? Do I not have access to. What is going on with this? Wait a minute. Can I not. Does not. Wait. Salesforce object type, permission sets, address types. Oh, was I working on this before I created that field? Maybe? Maybe. Cancel that. Refresh this. Try again. Create address type. One separate type. Why doesn't that field show up? Why does not Salesforce address type or Salesforce object type show up? What am I missing? Am I assigned to this permission set? Oh, I'm not assigned the permission set. That's dumb. Let's do that. Now it'll work better. How about that? Okay. Refresh again. Sheesh. It's the tough stuff. All right, now let's create a record. For the third time, create address type. Doop. And we're going to create, oh wait, separate address type, field, name. We'll do this as label for now, but I want to make a formula that is the, this is going to be the choice set, right? That's the value from that. Now, if I go back to the choice set, I actually want to add, oh, can I? I don't know if I can. With a collection set, the flow creates choice values, identify which choice to use for each label, each choice's label and value. So we might need to go back to the, do we need to go back to the well and get that value? It's probably cheaper to just do another query where the qualified API name is that and get its label. Or I'm sorry, I do want the label of this should be, wait, the choice label, the choice value. Sorry, I was hoping to collect another field from here, but that's okay. Can I? Let's see. Oh, can I do that with the pick list itself? Go here. No. Nope. I just get the value back on that. So that's fine. But I want to get the label of the Salesforce object and make the name a compound value, because I think that will be a little cleaner than so it'll be account dash mailing or opportunity dash doc, something like that. So let's done that. let's from here, we're going to requery. So we're going to get single entity definition by API. Entity definition qualified API name equals this. And we only need the first record. And then we're going to make a formula that is full address type label. Text formula single label and oops. Where's my ampersand? What's going on with my... Okay. Something was weird with my... and the value that we... there we go. Okay. We get that, and then we'll put that here. So this will be the full address type label. Done. Save. Activate. Debug. And we're going to pick account, and we're going to call it, I don't know, other. All done. And let's go to our address type. I don't think we have our app open yet. Let's duplicate this. There's addressable. And oh, did we run? Is that running in rollback? Committed to the database. Did I? Maybe I ran it. Run the latest, show the details. It should be creating a record. I don't think it didn't blow up, right? So account doc1. Transactions committed. Account doc1. Salesforce object type account. Committed to the database. Why don't we see those? I am creating address types, right? Yes, okay. Yeah, we're not seeing... Oh, I'm looking at addresses. That's why. There we go. All right, cool. So that's doing a thing. And then if we look in here, we've got the object type. I wonder if we want to keep the label. That might make life easier when if somebody were to edit this, we don't have to go back and query it again. But for now, can I override the new with... I can override with a lightning component. Can I put a flow in the lightning component? I think so, right? Hey, ChatGPT. Where'd you go? Gotta find you. Did I not? What did I do? Close that? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. How do I put a screen flow in a Lightning Web Component. Okay, we gotta import the flow navigation stuff. And handle the flow event, navigation events. Add your screen one component or HTML markup here. Don't know if we got there. Create a flow. Well, that's okay. Handle the flow initialization. Handle flow navigation. Handle attribute changes. Add flow to your LWC markup. But there's no flow referenced here. Your markup goes here. I feel like this is backwards. I feel like this is putting a flow in. This feels like it's putting an LWC in a flow. Did I say that the wrong way? How do I put a screen flow? How do I render a screen flow inside a Lightning Web component? Oh no, not again. I think this is still backwards, ChatGPT. Lightning Flow support. Yep. No, not exactly. Okay, so ChatGPT not omnipotent, but that's okay. That's okay. Good try. Good try, ChatGPT. So let's see. Screen flow in LWC. Embed screen. Hey! Yep. Custom create record. This is exactly what we're looking for. Build the screen flow. Create account screen. Output. Quick record create. Reusable blocks for rapid development. This is kind of clever, right? They just made one component to rule them all, which, well, we're not going to really use that, I don't think. Quick record create, make the component markup dynamic. Oh, I see. Lightning. Okay, cool. Object flow name. Don't really need that. Embedding flows within LWC. This is all I wanted, ChatGPT. I just wanted the flow name. Status change. Variables. Are we going to have variables? I wonder if we override. What do we get when we override the from a purely from an address type creation perspective? I don't really care, but it would be nice if I want to create an address type from a account record or something like that. it would be nice if it passed that through. So it would pick the Salesforce object type automatically. Maybe that does pass through. I guess we're gonna mess around and find out. Who's that guy? Thanks, Mohit. Good stuff. Thanks, man. Righty. Where? I was curious if maybe it, let's see, does it talk about this in here somewhere? Input variables. Finish behavior. An array of values to provide. Getting this value resets flow interview ID. This attribute doesn't set if there's an okay. Flow interview ID, resume flow, start flow. Flow input variables. Salesforce override new button with LWC flow input parameters. This is a little. Can't override a standard button. Well, wait a minute. It definitely seems like we can do that. It seems okay. Let's make a component and we'll find out, right? Yeah, this seems. What's this? Take fields directly from an object. I just don't know if we're going to have those. I'm going to try it. I mean, it says you can't, but is that, wait a second. Lightning component. Okay, so I'm sorry, it's not a Lightning web component, it's just a Lightning component. So I think we just want to, all right, Salesforce screen flow in Aura component. Yeah, that's okay. I misread that. How do we call a screen flow from an Aura component? May have to write some gunky stuff in here, but I think we just need. I hope it puts it in a modal for us. That's the other thing I'm not quite sure about. All right, so we're going to make an Aura component that we can put our flow in, and then we can override, I think, from there. Aura. Fine. Let's do it. Let's call this new address type. Great. And let's steal a bunch of code here. Mm-hmm. I think they're messing around with a test attribute here. To pass value from parent to modal, you can make use of attribute. You can access the attribute via component.get. So all right, then we have to do an init and start the flow. Okay. This feels like it could be a much more generic component if we could actually pass the attribute in some other way, but I don't think we can on a new, in the new context. It's just kind of, hey, cutes. I don't know if I'm saying that right. We're building a address, a polymorphic address, polymorphic multiple address app so that you can attach addresses to any object in Salesforce. And some of this kind of already exists, but I thought it'd be a fun experiment and a little exercise through stuff down the road through Salesforce to see what we could do. So far we've created an address object and an address type object, and now we're going to create a flow so we can create new address types, mostly just so they have a friendly name, and use a flow instead of a standard page so that we can pick a Salesforce object type. And hopefully we'll get that together here in a minute after I do some things that I never do anymore, which includes creating Aura components, but there you go. So let's try to clean up the format of this. I'm not convinced we need all of these things here, but okay, we'll leave them. We have a test attribute. We need an init command, and where's that go? In the controller. Yep. So let's take this. Literally just stealing all of this because why not? I haven't touched a Aura component in a long time. I don't think we're gonna. Well, let's leave that. I really want to pass the. I really want to try to pass the object type here at some point because it'd be nice to create a new address type from an object. But for now, we'll just go with this. Const flow component.find. There's our flow. Just call it flow component. I don't know. I just like to name these things particularly. And then start flow. What's the name of our flow? Address type, screen, create address type. Now let's see if we can override that. Oh, do we have to? I feel like we have to tell this. I have to tell this something else? Hold on. No, I don't. Let's see, we got our component. Do I have to? I think I have to tell this how to, like what to override, right? Has record ID. This is where the question is, and then this is where the response is. Gonna sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. So why can't I pick that? let's see. Salesforce override new button with Aura component. Oop, that's gone. Action override is intended to enable develops custom record detail entirely. Let's see, I don't know if I have these. Yeah, I think there's way more stuff in here than what I need, but for now, action override, I think we already have has record ID. Okay, so that interface should let us override it, I hope. There we go. New address type, save. I wonder what we're gonna, let's see, when we do that override, yeah, see this, okay, it's fine for now. If I do new address type, I think we'll okay, that's neat. Why is it? Oh, because we have something in our component that in our Aura component that's doing that. So if I pick account and say doc2, there's my new address. Okay, that worked, but yep, I have to change the behavior. Can we change the end behavior of a overridden Aura component? Let's see what that interface gives us. Action override. And what else do we have? Quick action? Lightning quick action. All right. So what do we get from this? Override new view tab edit. Most no effect except when used. Override standard actions. Okay, yeah, pretty straightforward. Action override. I want to tell the Aura component, or I'm sorry, I guess I'm telling the flow what to do when it's finished. Let's see, does the other one, what is that other force lightning quick action? What does that give us? Uses a custom action. I don't know if that's what we're really, I don't think we're able to take advantage of this. When used as actions, components that implement this display in a panel with standard action controls such as, no, this isn't what we want. Although I bet you it shows up there now. Well, I haven't added it, so I assume it would. Oh, thank you. I forget about the Salesforce Discord channel. I probably because I'm a bad Discorder. I've run out of places to collaborate, I guess. But thank you for doing that, and I probably should show up there once in a while and drop some stuff. Trying to also get a better blog stood up because I feel like I end up with some nuggets from each of these episodes that's probably worth writing about. But either way, thanks for the name drop. Appreciate it. All right, so I guess maybe where we're at is so I'm not gonna belabor this too much more right now for our purposes. I am going to get rid of this alert here because it's not really useful, and we'll save that. We don't need that undefined thing in there. So again, the whole point of this component is to take this step over. New address type. Really, you're going to keep... Oh, hold on. Let's just refresh. So new address type. I want to be able to pull all of the Salesforce objects in here. Let's pick contact. And then I want to be able to give, home. We can make the label there. And then when I click next, we'll do something nicer with that. But we do end up with contact home. And this is that type. So it'll support the when we go and create an address, which I think we'll also need probably a custom UI for, so that we can, this is the address. The name, I think, of the address will come up with something that's, useful to the useful and relevant to the record. Fill out the address. This field will, I think, be hidden. This account lookup will be maybe dynamically populated. Our address type would also be selectable and only relative to the object type of the object that we're creating the address for. Whew. And then we're going to store Salesforce object type kind of hidden like. So I'm going to go grab a drink real quick. I will be right back because I'm thirsty. 1 second. YCDTOSF. BRB. Do. And we're back. We got cheese sticks. So yeah. Extruded semi-natural cheese product Cheese spelled with a Z, probably. But this is kind of lunch. So if you guys are cool, I'm going to snarf a little of that and try not to talk and chew at the same time. Okay. Where were we? Address types, addresses. Let's create a new address. I'm going to do this manual ugly mode here. Before we do that, let's create an account. All right, we need a new account. We'll say very cleverly test account 1. So it already has billing and shipping addresses on it, but you know we're gonna do our thing here. Let's go back to our addresses. This will be overridden. Oops. All right, we're gonna populate that just because if I can find it again. Do some polymorphic-ish shenanigans with that later. It would ultimately populate that field. The type I'd like to have ultimately be filtered by the account that is chosen. We'll just pick, let's say doc1. And then the type that this is valid for is the account. And there's our stuff. And that's linking out to Google Maps, which is neat. And okay, so in ugly manual mode, this is what we end up with. And what we want to do, I think, is... So this will also show up on the account now. I don't know if I put it on the page layout, though. Nope, I did not. So as I'm thinking this through, maybe we don't need to worry too much about the dynamicness of all of this, because everything could be done relative to the... Could it? I came into the address type. I suppose if I wanted to create address types, I could do that on a specific account. Maybe I do want to do it on a specific account because I have specific types that are relevant for that that address beyond what is used for the account. So maybe there's a little hierarchy here, which might mean we may want an account lookup and an object lookup on the address type as well. Maybe. We wouldn't want to store every permutation of address type for every single record. That would be crazy. But we could have a little bit of hierarchy here. You know, we could say, that might be kind of interesting, right? So if I create another one of these, you know, what if I said, you could almost have address types that are the default for every object. you could have, you could break them down by Salesforce object type, which is what we're doing now. And then you could also have specific address types by record. So if you, I don't know, you had a specific customer and they had some very specific addresses, you could reference, you could add some specific ones just for them. So then maybe the address type includes I guess a lookup, right, to each of the custom objects. And maybe we don't need to do our our record type hocus pocus right now, though I think that makes things a little cleaner in some ways, depending on the UI that we build. Anyway, talking out loud, do we want to have global defaults? I guess that may or may not be useful. Let's just start with the object type, and then we'll also add a, since we're dealing with accounts right now, we will let's make an account lookup. And we'll call that address types. And I'm going to put that on the account page just to step through this. Okay, so we have, let's see, we have addresses, right? So 123 Street. Let's go back to our account here. And let's make we need the lookup to the addresses on here. So let's edit this page layout. I'm not going to set it up as dynamic for right now, but related list, addresses, quick save, yes. And okay, refresh that. So there's our addresses. Let's add a few more fields out here. Let's show the type. And we could just do can we do the type? Well, we can do no, the address type will show us a label. Okay, that's what that's what we want. And then let's just show the the street and the zip. Okay, quick save. So now back to test account. Okay, so this address is for 4 accounts that have a doc1, which again, I think this would be a specific, we're going to convert this doc1 and doc2 into specific addresses. So, because right now they don't make sense as a general address for all accounts. Like we're not going to have a doc1 type. I guess you could if you're dealing with a lot of a lot of businesses that have and believe me, I don't think I don't know if businesses have specific addresses for their docs, but you get the idea. All right, let's convert these 2 address types to, so we'll do doc1 and doc2. So this is a good example. Like this is a general, this could be shared by all accounts. Home could be shared by all contacts. Doc1 and doc2, they don't make sense for for a generic use. So I don't think our address type, did we add account to our address type, a lookup? I don't think we did. No, we did. I don't know if we put on the page layout. And we did. Did I not actually grant permission to it? Address type. And yes, we did. Okay, so where are you? Maybe it's just, maybe we need to do a hard refresh here. There you are. Okay, so I'm going to convert these two just by creating a relationship with test account 1 to specific. So these will be specific address types for and I think we probably should adjust the layout here. I have an idea. Now so okay, here's what I'm also thinking. Does it matter if we have a custom address type for a single address, or is it really just like self-evident, right? That of course you're going to have a specific address, and the type may not really matter. Trying to because you're only if you were to create address types, you're going to have a type of 1 for each of those. So maybe that doesn't make sense. And maybe instead of maybe in that case it's more like, are we just adding a field to the address that we can describe it here, and it would just be doc2, right? Or in this case doc1. It might be nice to have the account name in there, because then the address type could just be something like, we'll just say account. We'll just change them to account other for right now, if I can find it. Here, we'll change this. We'll make this. We'll make a convention for this eventually, and then we'll just call this. We'll call this other. So it's really more about a business process, and maybe instead of other or a specific doc1, like we could have something more general for a type and just call this like loading doc. And I'm going to take this away because that probably doesn't make sense anymore. Right, and then we'll take doc2 away. Oops, because that doesn't really make sense either. All right, you see we're trying to figure out the business processes or functionality around this before we... and then let's create, let's clone this. We'll say account, billing. Clone you again. Shipping. Maybe for some reason shipping and mailing are different, so we'll make a mailing. Maybe we'll make a, let's make a customer support. There we go. There's a handful. And yeah, those look a little bit more relevant. And then if we come over here to doc1, so this would be, let's change this to, where are you? Loading doc. Okay, so now we're looking at test account 1 has a a loading dock, and it's dock 1. And probably want to store, I realize we didn't store the label. I don't think we have a label field, which is probably useful to store separately so we can reconstruct the address type if we ever needed to. Let's do that. Label. My layouts are a mess, but let's go back over to our flow. Let's see, create address type. Let's add label here, and that will be the address type label. Activate that. And let's go back over here. Address types. Let's select some fields here. We're just going to do a little bit of manual reconstruction here so we can have the values correct. Okay, so now we've got those. So when we create a new address type, we'll use the new function. And let's make another one. We'll call it, just had a thought, branch, maybe. Sure. Now, we won't get into the philosophical discussion of whether a branch should be a account unto its a sub account, in the hierarchy, or its own thing. But there you have it. We can do that. All right. Probably need to add another field or page to the end of that flow. But all right, we got branch. Cool. So when we do create these in the future, we'll store the label as well. We don't need that account field, I don't think, on the address type anymore. Because again, if we created a specific address type on a specific record, it probably should just be named whatever you're going to name it. So now looking at this, test account 1, doc 1, that makes sense. It's a loading dock. I think we need a similar situation for, we're probably going to need to create an edit screen for address types. Again, just to kind of mediate that whole functionality, and then probably a new and an edit on address. And if we do that, oh, right. So I was going to take a look at the actual, layout of an account. I wonder if we could, well, it doesn't make sense to have address types per account anymore. So the addresses are just going to show up here. I think one thing that we probably need to look at is what else could a type mean? Maybe a type means that we're stamping the values somewhere. So if you choose loading dock for an account, we could say if you choose that type, then stamp this address to these fields, right? Because that's probably part of the deal. We probably also want a default, maybe a default box on the address itself. I could see that coming into play at some point. So let's do this. And then we probably need some logic that, is a flow that unchecks everything that's not this kind of situation. So undefaults everything else. We'll have to work on that. I should be writing these down. Let's see. What else do we need? We need, these isn't really requirements. This is objects. Some catching up to do there. Automations. Undefault. Other addresses when default is checked. See, stuff like that could be useful to still work with the record ID generically, because I don't want to have to figure out what the field type is on the object in order to do that undefaulting. I just want to say, here's the record ID. Go find all the other records with this record ID and default them, except for the one that we just created. Where a record ID again is the related record ID, which is maybe a better name for this, because I don't want to imply that this is the Salesforce ID of the record. So we call this related record ID. Yes, I know we shouldn't do that. Delete you. I know. Oh, you're not going to give it to me, are you? Okay. Okay. So more to come for that. I think we probably should create the new address flow. Oops. Screen flow. I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and steal from this. So we'll create an address for something. Again, this function would be good to can we just pass well, we're going to override the new. I still want to get, this is where I really want to get the the Salesforce ID from the new. I don't know how a parameter gets passed when I override. So for example, and maybe we need to just kind of research this a little, or debug this a little bit. Where are you? Here. So address type. When I do new here, this is not exactly the example, but let's imagine I did this from, well, I mean, here's a good, no, it's not a good example. If I did this from a, let's say it another way. If I overrode the new button here and I I think if I have has record ID, right, I should be able to pass the record ID generically into my new function and thereby get that record. Now, I still need to get it generically and populate the. I feel like I'm going to need an invocable for that in the. I want to do this with a flow, but I think I need to say, "Hey flow, hey invocable, here's the," because I can't do dynamic field references in flow. So I'm going to say, "Here's the related record ID for this address. Populate the actual lookup for this address, and give me back the record." I think we're going to have to do that. Not a big deal, but some code, if until we can reference fields dynamically in flow, I don't see a way to do that otherwise. And that, maybe we boil that down to something a little more abstract, where it's here's the object, or here's the record, here's the field, here's the value to populate. Something like that. We'll get to that point. But to make this, kind of, that's ultimately where I want to get to is I can click new here. Hopefully I have the record ID context through the new. I can pass that to the flow. The flow can operate kind of generically, if possible. We might not be able to reference the related object really well. I don't want to get into a place where I have to come into the flow and have like all these different data types, and I don't think there's a way for us to, let's save this. I can't create a variable that is, well, maybe we can do something with an apex defined object, maybe, but I can't pick S object in here, right? I don't think so. QS object, no, that's something completely different. I wonder if we had an apex defined variable, if there would be some way to use that. A lot of stuff in here. Never really looked through here to see what all the Connect API stuff is in there. That's interesting. Anyway, I digress. Maybe there's a way to do that. I'm just not smart enough off the cuff to figure that out. But anyway, I can't create a direct. In order for this to be like kind of generic, I can't say just use S object. So, but I want to pass. I guess first of all, I want to find out if we can actually get. So this is a new address type component. I think we're going to need a new address component. I love making me some Aura components, said nobody. Okay. Back to stealing other people's code. I want this to be, because we have has record ID and we have has S object name. I don't think we need this other stuff. Flexi page, community, quick action. I don't think we need that either. We'll find out if this works or not. We're going to do an action override. I kind of don't. Well, let's keep that. Now, I want, let's see, if I have has record ID, how does my Aura component get access to it? I never use this stuff anymore. Oh, it just was record ID. Okay. So there's record ID, and then can we pass that? I guess here's a question. No, that won't work. I was going to say, hey, record ID, you can use it as a text. input variable, or you could use it as a record input variable, but then I still need to pick a data type or an S object type for that. So that's not going to work. That's okay. Let's do this. And then let's steal more code. And because I have, here we go. So we'll do the init. Const record ID equals, I think, component.get that. And then how do I pass parameters to a flow from Aura? Aura flow pass parameter to your Stack Overflow. All right, it's just an array of, it's an array of objects with the values. Okay, so flow component documentation. Yep. Okay. Easy enough. Input variables, we're just going to do one of these. And let's see, we're calling it record ID. I think that's what we're going to call it internally. So we'll make this record ID. And then this is going to be address screen create address, which does not exist yet, but we'll try to call it consistently. And let's finish our flow. Create an address for, maybe we can just, let's see, save this. Actually, let's create a variable called record ID. And the data type is text, a variable for input. Save that. This is address, screen, new address. Did I do that right? Oh, create. I guess it probably should be new, but we are going to run access all data on this because we just need some limited functionality. And let's activate this uselessly for right now, because I just want to see if we're getting our record ID to come through. So I'm going to take the address object now, and let's override the new button. Oh, I was going to, let's just render the, oops. Let's just render the Salesforce ID here, the record ID that comes in. Yep, do that. Activate that. And now let's go here and let's create, oh, let's let the dog in, I guess. And now let's create a new address. Undefined. Maybe I'm not getting that right. Let's see. Does it have anything more to say? Oh, doesn't have anything more to say about that. Has record ID interface does two things to a component that implements it. It adds an attribute named record ID to your component. This is of type string. If you added it yourself, the attribute would look like this. If your component implements it, you don't need to add the attribute. Oh, don't change the access level or type. When your component is invoked in record context, the record ID is set. The record ID attribute is set only when you place or invoke a component in an explicit record context, when you place directly on the layout. In all other cases, such as when you invoke a global action or create programmatically, it isn't set and your component shouldn't depend on it. Womp womp. Global action, not exactly what we're doing. Header or footer navigation. The example shows markup required. That's not what we're after. Component.get. So my only hope is to take this out, see if it works there. And I guess we could also no, it says it was undefined, right? So our problem isn't that it's not getting to the flow. It's not getting to our component. So let's go back to our account. I don't think this is going to work. I wonder if there's another way to do this. Like if I could just yoink the URL somehow. Undefined. I wonder, could we grab the URL from there? How to get the URL for a Lightning component. Lightning is URL addressable. All right. So we're going to get to enable direct navigation to is used with the Lightning navigation. Lightning has page reference. Oh, we're there. Provides access to the page reference attribute. Well, let's try that. Can we kick something out that would let us reference the page reference? You know, I just realized I'm doing something dumb here. Maybe this isn't a problem. I'm like setting the record ID to an alert. That might not work no matter what. The dog agrees. Do you hear him? Let's go back. Let's refresh. I still don't know if this is going to work. New. Still nothing. Okay. Okay, let's, what if we alert, or subtle crypto, I don't know, alert on the, it looks like just page reference is going to be our, maybe I need to, can we JSON in here? Let's find out. It sounds like that might be an object. What do we get there? Okay, back. Okay. Ooh. That is the page that we're on I thought it was gonna. I thought it was gonna hit that before in context of ref. Yeah, there's no way for us to pull that out. IDs, no, there's nothing there. We know the object, we know the action, but we don't know the specific record that it came from. Okay. So it doesn't actually execute until it gets to the new action, and we don't have anything to go by. What about like refer? Maybe. I guess that's more of a JavaScript. I have a feeling we're going to run into like some security stuff pretty. Oh boy. There we go. I just want to see what document referrer has in it. And don't know. Well, let's see. Just need to know where we came from. That's the whole deal here. Okay. Nope. Well, that's interesting. It doesn't. Refer doesn't actually hit that. It just tells us we're coming from the op. How else could we? Is there another way we could reference the URL? Document refer. Maybe the history. I don't want to go back a page. I just want to get the previous page. To protect privacy, there are limitations to how JavaScript can access this. So, what if we just alert that? I wonder. I wonder if it would actually execute it. Probably will. I mean, it makes sense, right? We don't want the. You could probably do a bunch of terrible things with this if you could access the values. But let's see. Undefined. Sends us back though. History.back doesn't work. Page reference, that's what we were just looking at, right? That doesn't work. URL addressable. Page state through page access attribute. This page state representation of the current URL query parameters enables you to generate a user-friendly URL for a Lightning component. Yeah. Oh, I see. That's just if you want a friendly URL. So that's not going to do it either. Does the Action override? What does that give us? Anything? It doesn't add or require any attributes. Blech. So it doesn't give us anything. Nope. Man. How else could we do this? We really just need that. Really just need this. From here. I can't. I wonder if we. Can we. Could we create a quick. Oh, no, because that won't show up. I don't think that'll show up here. Or can we put it in a list view? We essentially. Let's think about that. Address, actions, new action. From a quick action, we could just run our flow, and then we do have context, right? We could can I put that, let's see, can I put that in a list view? Let's just try it. Yeah, let's try it. New address. New address action. Yep. Oop. Visual, what? What just happened? No, that's my standard. Run a flow. That's the flow. Label, new address. Okay. That was weird. Okay. Let's go back to the address. Now, if I list view button layout. Oh, is this that thing where you gotta do something dumb here, right? There's like a classic view for this. I don't want to just create, even if I go in and create a new quick action, it's not actually gonna put it here. I think I have to go into classic. Ugh, this is getting gunky for what I want to accomplish. Create objects, address. List view. No. Why don't you show up? There used to be a list view classic Lightning or Salesforce classic view here that you'd have to put those in. Okay. Well, I'm coming up on time. I had to wrap a little bit early here today because I have to run to a meeting. And boy, did we, I love these parts of the Salesforce UI where we have to do interesting backflips to accomplish the things that we need to. But maybe there's just another way to look at this. Maybe it's better if we just, instead of trying to, I think where we're going to end up is, instead of trying to do it in the related list, we do it in the we just create a new button here, right? New address, a new address button on the let's see, will that work? Create a new address button on the account, and then you would have to add that button to any object that you're that is enabled for addresses. That might be an interesting way to look at this too, like from a configuration perspective, like what objects do you want to enable addresses on? And then perhaps it can do some magic mojo sauce to put buttons where they need to go, and also do, you know, list views and those sorts of things. So that would be interesting. Maybe we'll go that route, even with or without the with or without the that function. So if I came out here, let's make a new we'll make a new action. Let's call it, make it a flow. Create address. You know, new address. Doot doot. And then that's always annoying. We'll come back to the page layout. We'll do our override here, lightning action, new address, quick save, and refresh here, and then new address. There we go. There's our address, right? So we maintain context that way. So you can't get to it from by overriding the action of the address. You can't derive what the what the Salesforce ID is going to be, but you can get it from a direct button on the record. So we'll take that route. Like I said, maybe doing this gets into a little bit of like metadata, you know, hocus pocus to put those values somewhere, but that's for another day. For now, we, you know, at least we could take this, create an address, have it show up in the related list, and then we'll have an edit function that looks a lot like this. And again, I still want to do this dynamically, so whatever you're building an address on, it can kind of figure out what fields to fill, and then it will automatically, you know, put the lookups in the right place. And then maybe we do some dynamic page layout for the address itself. I know the type. I can get the type through this whole thing. I don't necessarily like. I don't want to. If we create addresses on accounts and contacts and opportunities and leads and this and that and the other, I don't want to see every single one of those fields. I just want to see that this is, you know, this is for test account. You know, doc one, only show the account relationship at that point. So, however, I gotta drop, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate Cutes. Thanks for the mention again in the Discord. See if we get a few other people to show up in the future. Gonna try to post some more details, post the recordings, and just get back into that mojo. So I'm heading out. This is Tom, and you can't do that on Salesforce. Take care. See ya.